Loyola Chicago, the 11th seed of this year's NCAA men's basketball tournament, went all the way to the Final Four in April, and it was the first time in 33 years that the school qualified for the tournament. Along the way, they beat number 6 seed Miami in the first round, number 3 seed Tennessee in the second round, and number 7 seed Nevada in the Sweet 16, number 9 seed of Kansas State in Elite 8, and advanced to the Final Four in San Antonio. Although they lost to Michigan in the semifinals, the Loyola phenomenon was one of the most talked sports stories, and a miracle that took place with the help of some secret power. Loyola's amazing tournament run had not only break millions people's bracket but also manifested the most beautiful factor of sports. Despite being the undersized team almost every tournament game, they overcame the physical challenges by running a bit more than other team, playing harder on defensive end and give themselves a chance. That reminds me of something that we have discussed in this class. Loyola's players were probably not as gifted as players that they had to play against physically, but they pushed themselves to physical limits to another level and fought for every small chances that was exist, and eventually being able to actually win the game, which I believe made them just as gifted as athletes as those played on the Miami or Tennessee's team. As discussed in the textbook, limitations are human vanity, and it could be physical and mental. Very often, we have imposed mental limitations on ourselves. As a result, a lot of people don't even give a try on something that they think is impossible. Loyola's player never did that. They did not impose any sort of mental limitations on themselves. They always believe that they can do that. The textbook states that overcoming or pushing humans' physical limits has always been one of the most important themes of sports and religion. One of the reasons of sports or athletes being great inspirations or idols for people to follow is that regardless the limitations that others or have put on the team or an individual player, there are always so-called underdog appears and accomplish something others think are impossible to accomplish. Besides the players and coaches, Loyola's Cinderella story was also credited to a 98-year-old nun, Sister James. Sister James is the team chaplain. She traveled to be with the team in every city throughout the tournament and led pre-game prayer ceremony within the team. After every game during the tournament, each player would give a hug to Sister James on the sideline, and Loyola won the first two game rounds of tournament with two buzzer beater shots to end both Miami and Tennessee. It reminds me of ceremonial change we have discussed in this class. There's no doubt that luck or fortunate is something you would need to win any game or championship ultimately in sports. And this is something you could only wish for. Sister James' existence had helped this Loyola team to have the fortune that they needed. The ceremonial change took place when the team and Sister Jane prayed before each game and even after the game, and the team was rewarded with two game-changing shots to advance to the Sweet 16.